Hi, this is probably going to seem a bit weird because I'm vlogging, but in my last text post I talked about the brief history of the BBC ident and the ITV ident, and I'm now gonna give you some background information on the BBC's mission statement and ITV's mission statement, and kind of the way I interpret it for how it fits in with their idents and for their target audiences. So, without further ado, the BBC mission statement and the identity of it is their mission is to enrich people's lives with programmes and services that inform, educate and entertain. Their vision is to be the most creative organisation in the world, and their values are trust is the foundation of the BBC. We are independent, impartial and honest. Audiences are at the heart of everything we do. We take pride in delivering quality and value for money. Creativity is the lifeblood of our organisation. We respect each other and celebrate our diversity so that everyone can give their best. We are one BBC. Great things happen when we work together. Now, if we take a look at BBC idents, then obviously BBC throughout history has kind of kept the whole sort of like circular world motion, and it fits in with their values and their vision because it reflects, like, obviously the world and unity, but it also represents that they want to be the only one in the world that can do what they do, and I also think it kind of links in with kind of like this global community, and when they say great things happen when we work together, and I think that's kind of the main thing that they're trying to promote in their identity, that when we work together great things can happen and it's a global thing and we should all be unified in that. And I just think with the creativity part, BBC is quite known for its creativity within its idents. I mean, if you look at the one a couple of years back with the hippos and how creative that was to get a whole sort of like, not a gang of hippos, but like a whole sort of like group of hippos to kind of swim in a circular motion, and also the wheelchair basketball one was pretty creative and special as well, and it was also diverse as well, which kind of something again that the BBC prides themselves on, because they are a public service and they have to represent everyone from each nature, and I just think that they really keep to that within their idents and their identities, and I think it's a great thing, really. ITV now. ITV's says that their vision is to be the UK's favourite source of free entertainment, building on their heritage of providing high quality ad-funded UK programming. They also say ITV will return to growth with an overarching target, for the business as a whole to deliver compound annual revenue with the growth of 3% to 5% to 2010, rising to 5% to 2012. It goes on to talk about revenue a lot, which I think is okay for ITV because, again, they're one that needs funding from advertisers, and it's not so much a public service, but they're kind of in competition with BBC. They say for broadcasting that their key objective is to remain the country's leading commercial channel provider, so that in, this is actually from last year, so that in 2012 they plan to be delivering at least 38.5% share of commercial impacts across their channels, and they will stabilise ITV1's performance and build on the success of ITV2, which is kind of like a branch in their franchise, which is seeking to turn it into the UK's third largest commercial channel for 16 to 34-year-olds. They break it down into their global content as well, which within the global content their objective is to create and own the UK's most popular and valuable content, which doubles their annual revenue in the UK and internationally. It includes the ITV commissions, where they aim to increase ITV producers' share, but also commissions other UK and international broadcasters. So yeah, and yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's all sort of money related, and I don't know, I think, I don't know, their idents kind of, we know it's, I don't know, we know it's kind of like not a public service, but it's funded, and it's just, I don't know, like within their idents, like they don't have the same sort of like unified we are one in the UK, but they do stick to a theme, which I think in most of their idents actually the theme colour is actually yellow, which yellow and blue actually, which is kind of I think it's kind of comforting and eye-catching to viewers, which will then, if they're looking for something different from the BBC, it will kind of give them an alternative. It's kind of, I think the logos are very kind of in your face and very not, I'm not saying that the BBC idents are kind of old fashioned, but they do lack a certain new age perspective that I think ITV have a certain edge on. Like their new logo that was launched in 2012, it adapts to the colour scheme of the programme at that time, which I think is kind of very new age. I think it will interest a lot of young people to see what it's all about, especially where it's they use new programming to design that especially, and it's very up and coming, so a lot of young people, which is kind of where they're kind of targeting really. They want modern families, modern people, modern young people to be interested in their channel and to raise their revenue and growth as a UK broadcaster. So I think it definitely does its job as an ident in respect to driving sales to increase viewing figures, but as an identity I'm not too sure. So I think there's positive and negative in both idents, and yeah, that's it really.